Well, let's get back into the swing of things. So I was able to get a game in with my good friend and fellow model hoarder Tyler. We played a 1600 point game. I really enjoy the 1600 point games. They feel much more thematic to me. I don't know why. I think it's all the troops you get. And he had bought the advanced settings for the secondaries and deployments. So he got rollout, payload, and supply drop. And supply drop was hella fun. I actually bought this set after we had gotten done playing. Like that day when I'm buying this because I want to do hostages next, and that looks really fun. But 1600 point game versus clones with armor and Empire with armor. So it's a pretty fun one. Little look at the battlefield. Very deserty. Don't mind the eyeballs on the mat. That's not part of the theme. They're just there watching us play like little creepy voyeurs. And he also had these cool little acrylic markers for our supply drops. I bought some of these as well because look at them. They're so cool looking. I bought some of these. These are definitely a must buy for any kind of Legion player because it looks proper. But each one of those markers is where the supply drop is. And when your character touches it, you get free gear. And then you see the bomb carts as well. And here's how he dropped out. Our armor could roll out farther than everything else. So both our tanks lined up to bruise each other. On the left flank over here, I actually pulled my special forces out further and in order to put early pressure on him because he was, I'll put a mortar here. Cool. I'm gonna sneak in these special forces. I'll put 2 mortars here. Okay, here's 2 special forces. And then in that tower in the center, I put special forces around that marker so I could take it and as well apply pressure in the center if I needed to. He put both of his little ATRT riders, one is a flamethrower, one is a rotary cannon, then he has 1 bark. I have my speeder bikes down there and then my occupier as well. And then I went, this is a heavy infantry and special forces list. I got 3 units of special forces and then 2 units of sniper scouts. And yeah, he went phase 2s, a single unit of phase 1s, 2 ATRTs, the saber tank, Anakin, and then Rex. Well, I had for my command an Imperial officer, Iden, and Veers, and then in the center here I had my little repair team with the robot and what's his face with the rifle, who can also repair stuff. Miko, yeah, his name is Miko. So naturally, first turn, I drop Veers' maximum firepower and put shots on the tank. He pulls out, here come the clones, or Hero of the Clone Wars, or whatever the hell it is. And I'm not sure what. Oh yeah, and then after all the firepower and conversions, I only get 1 wound on the saber tank, which is a bit sucky, but this is kind of how it goes, you know. You start rolling out, the mortars immediately start putting pressure on my special forces. And I just fail saves like no one's business. I'm sure you guys know that by now. And then I started putting wounds on his mortar team. So immediately we started firing at each other across the map. He's firing mortars and his rifles. I'm firing my cannons and rifles at him. Just trying to peel off those phase 2 troopers. And you know, he makes saves much more consistently than I do. So it was an uphill battle. I already knew that from the very beginning. Troops moving up. Not any real troop movement so far. Just mostly pushing up my troopers, getting cover. That was a weird burp. My apologies. Getting cover, taking up positions. I got Veers moved up. There's a little slot in that wall where he is in that little blown out building. And he had line of sight because there's a little slot in there. I put his eyes next to it. I called it, hey, you know, it's line of sight quite literally. So he's looking out and seeing that tank and kind of plinking away at it. Then I believe here I put these special troopers on standby after taking their supply drop, and then I moved that tank around to start taking shots at his saber tank. This is him moving up. He moves up his arcs in phase 1s with the RP6. So mostly his arcs are pushing up in a wave around the saber tank. Saber tank pushes up, and his phase 1s move up and try and get into cover. I kind of poke. I think this is the second look at it. As this arcs moved up, I realized you're in range, and I pop that standby, and I fire at him, and I peel off a single ARC trooper. I think again, he's just making really good saves. I can't remember what was shooting here. I think this was my tank firing with the main guns and the pintle, and got 4 crits. And that's the saber tank in the distance. We're kind of staring each other down. Yeah. Doo-doo, doo-doo. It's a very JoJo-esque moment, to say the least. This caught me by surprise. He rushes this flamer, the flamethrower ATRT up, and I was like, oh god. Because I did not expect him to be so forward with it. He just runs it up and goes, because all those guys had shot at the phase 2s, and he was safe to run up, and you'll see. You'll definitely see. He puts 3 wounds on my occupier with the saber tank, and because he has anti-tank missiles, and I just can't roll saves to save my life. And I believe this is the end of the turn. How everything looks up. All the infantry more or less pushed up into positions. His is pushing up, mine's pushing up. That's really about it. Bomb carts are kind of running along. Because his bomb carts move a single move through at the end of each turn, and you're trying to get the closest possible to each other, which is it's a bit funny. I actually quite like the bomb cart objective. So I pop up. I put orders on Iden. Iden's right there in her robot. This is her card where she activates. I believe it's herself and 3 other special forces units that get steady and tactical 1. And so I get ready to try and do some damage with. My goal was to put down that ATRT as fast as possible, but he got a faster pip than me. So the ATRT went first, and the ATRT blasted an entire special forces unit off the table, just boom. And it was 2 dice per model, and I had 5 models, so he rolled 10 black dice, and every goddamn black dice hit. And as you can imagine, I did not make all my saves. So at this point, I was quite salty. I was like, yeah, because I could see why he did that. But the salt was rising. I was trying to maintain a positive outlook on life. I was struggling, to say the least. But that was a very unexpected play by him to run up and just completely Napa flame that entire squad to death. Here is a shot with a squad at something, and you can see how my dice were rolling. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Wait, hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blanks out of all those. And I think this is, I forget what was firing. I think it was maybe one of the Empire squad, I think, or something. But I remember taking a picture of it because I was angry about it. And after a lot of concentrated fire, I was able to put that ATRT down before he's able to. Because if I didn't kill the ATRT, he was going to just demolish me, a whole other squad again. That flamethrower is super deadly. And unfortunately, I wasn't able to do what I wanted to do. And I had to put all that firepower into the ATRT, and I couldn't do what my plan was. So more or less, Iden gets stuck in a very, very big rock in a very, very big hard place. Anakin pushes up, try to be sneaky boy, pushing up. I push more guys up. Miko and the repair squad are up. Miko and the repair squad go up and they start fixing wounds on the tank to keep it in a battle. All the fucking good it does me. You'll see why here in a minute. And yeah, so they're moving up. Everyone's kind of pushing up. The squad down the bottom right hand corner, those are not special forces. That squad is a regular trooper squad. I realized I left the whole platoon at home, so the extra special forces models were being used as regular troopers. I know it looks dumb, my apologies, but that's just how it be sometimes. This officer moves up, starts taking pot shots at Rex, and then he starts focusing every mortar he has, every weapon he can get on Iden. He's putting those shots in Iden. He's just trying to suppress her down and get her to run. And he's just throwing down mortar fire. And I get like one inspire off from the officer to remove one. But he's doing his damnedest to make Iden just take off and run, and I'm slowly plinking wounds on the Rex. All through this particular turn, I'm just kind of shooting at Rex, trying to peel him off or get him to run. Yeah, and I remember this. He does. I forget what he shot me with. I think he was doing supporting fire, and I was like, okay, cool. She's full health, no problems. I'll just, you know, I peeled off plenty with suppression and cover. I'll roll my red dice and get some saves, and I fail 5 saves on red dice. So she is 1 wound, 1 wound left. I was like, son of a bitch. And if you look to the right, you'll see that the arc welder, that is one of the things she picked up from the supply pack. She picked up one of the supply dumps and got that little arc welder thing. Didn't do a lot of good, but it's what you got. Him measuring up, trying to see what else he can shoot. You see, I'm slowly putting wounds on Rex, just trying to throw whatever fire I can out there. I form a firing line on the right hand side there and start just kind of kicking things up. More wounds, more suppression. He pushes up these phase 1s to try and put more wound suppression on Iden and on the Special Forces troopers. And then I believe the rotary cannon peels off a scout bike within here somewhere. But right now we're all pushing hardcore forward, trying to, you know, just take off whatever valuable targets we can. My sniper scouts move up, and 2 units of rocket launchers move up, and they more or less delete this bark before it can do anything. Yeah. So all these black dice, the bark was just within range of all the pistols. So, all right, I'm gonna fire at they're gonna aim and shoot at the bark, and this is what I got. And as you can imagine, the bark did not last very long. The bark couldn't shake off all those wounds. And those are his saves for the bark. So he got a little bit of bad luck. He makes 1, fails 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So the bark goes away. Much like my Special Forces squad did. Even my dog's mad about it. You hear in the background? Even the dog's mad about it. Alright, so I'm freaking out. I'm like, Iden is going to die. It's turn 3. I'm going to play Concussive Blast and hope I get my bomb off. And he has 1 pip. And it's calling me Captain. I was like, oh, Iden is dead. Iden is going to die. I just knew she was. And what's this save for? Oh, that's right. So thankfully he goes. I believe he does that. Those phase 1s, and Rex is going to shoot split fire. Rex shooting at Iden, and then the phase 1's shooting at the squad back here. And the squad makes not a lot of saves, to say the least. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah. So bad things happen with the squad, and Iden's able to somehow make all of her saves. It's pretty awesome. Iden is still alive, and I have 1 chance to use my Concussive Blast. So you yeet, your girl throws a grenade, blasts the phase 1s back over cover, and peels off a few of the models as well. And that's kind of like her last hurrah, to say the least. Just cling, yeet, and just that's all she wrote, unfortunately. And then he moves his people back behind cover and take pot shots at Iden. Iden's able to cover them all off. I believe a squad of my firing line activates and peels off more of the phase 1 troopers. The ATRT moves up, blasts off Iden. Just the ATRT rolled up and his rotary cannon her right to the fucking grave. But I knew it was coming. I really did. It was only a matter of time after all those damn failed saves. Overall, battle was looking like I threw a squad into the back of the occupier just to get more shots on target somewhere in there. He's pushing up all of his arcs, trying to put on massive pressure where he can. Yeah, that's what we're looking like right there. More or less. Unfortunately, we got started pretty late, so we only knew we get about 4 turns in before the store closed. So we were pushing in hard to try and get the distance we needed with the bomb carts. And yeah, I'm pointing at Rex because I'm just throwing every shot I have, and that little knot who hasn't shot you, who hasn't activated yet, I'm throwing all those shots into Rex. Trying to put wounds on him, trying to suppress him, get him to run. He's got 3 suppression, he's got 3 wounds. I'm just throwing every shot I can into that man. And yeah, just I believe the bomb carts move up. I'm inching forward. Oh yeah, here. So you see that there's a finger here. Reason behind that is because I got shot at my tank. My tank got shot at, and yeah, the tank failed every save. He had cycle or something like that, so he fired his missiles, and my tank failed every save possible and exploded immediately, just removed. And I was not mentally ready to have my tank leave the battlefield quite so quickly. I was not prepared for that in the least. I was not prepared to see my tank just exit the battlefield like that. So where my tank once was is now a dead trooper in a smoking crater. And then to add insult to injury, after he destroys my tank, I draw out of my order bag and draw my tank. And at that point, Tyler is laughing at my misery. I tell him, you know what, just take the phone, take a picture of me in the moment, and here's me trying to come to terms with the fact that my tank is now a ruin. Yeah, just look at and then I drew it, make things worse. I'm just like, okay, that's fine, whatever. I wasn't mad, I was just disappointed with myself. You know, you got the red dice, you're like, I'll do the math, that's a pretty good chance of not dying, and then you roll so many blanks and you realize, I see, my battle plan has all gone to waste due to the chance. It's just how it is, let me tell you. And then I shoot with, and then right after that, I shoot with a small squad of stormtroopers in a natural roll of crit, 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 hit. It's like, what do you want from me, dice gods? What do you want from me? He pushes up some phase 2s, and I'm putting more wounds and more suppression on Rex, because the hell with Rex. I'm just packing that firing line full of people, putting on the hate. That's all I can do after losing my tank. My scouts, again, just blister up. The scouts were on fire that night. The scouts were just on fire, and they were doing damage. Because at the top of the screen, you see a scouts behind that green barrier. Those scouts are shooting at arcs behind their own cover, and they're just blistering them up. And I believe they peel off some wounds as well. Yeah, so the scouts kill all but one arc. They kill all but one arc trooper. I believe that's Echo. And then he has these phase, what are these, phase 1s? No, these are phase 2s. He has some phase 2s behind this rock. And then I'm still wounding and suppressing Rex, because if I can't have nice things, you can't have nice things. That's just how it works. And Rex actually, he activates and he fails to remove a single suppression, and he flees, and he gets real close to the board edge. I was like, ooh, no. I was so disappointed. So disappointed. What am I taking a picture of here? Oh yeah, I do coordinated fire, and he does we're not programmed, try and get that suppression off of his units and off of Rex, which is a good call in my opinion. Battlefield overall, how we're looking, it's not looking great for me. His armor is still up. His armor was extremely wounded, and he actually gets a gear marker due to my rocket launchers just throwing on the wounds. That's really about it, because he's keeping that tank way the hell away from me, so I can't throw more white dice at it and sucker out more impact. But I'm doing the best I can here, best I can. Anakin pops out. Anakin he has a plan, and it was a pretty good plan. But unfortunately, Anakin pops out. He has a thing where he gets a go. He gets a move. and then he has Relentless or Charge or something like that. Gets into contact with the Special Forces, and his plan was to, get into combat, not kill all of them, get within range of the bomb cart, all that fun stuff, and cause some issues. But unfortunately, I fail all my saves again, and then he kills off the entire squad. Quite efficient, which is a bit bad news bears, because he's staring down like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 squads who have coordinated fire, and they coordinate fire right into his skull. This is a tooled up stormtrooper squad with a captain and that 4 white gun, and they did they roll. My luck is like, hey, how about this? My luck goes, we destroyed your tank, and I'm very sorry. But what if you kill the space monk? At this point, I'm like, you know what? Fuck it, let's kill the space monk. So the luck was humorous, to say the least. So lots of shots go in, and we're just blasting away with all the troopers, and Anakin goes down in a absolute wildfire of laser blasts. The squad pushes up, trying to put more fire on Rex, just to keep the suppression on him. Because in each turn, he does pull off one suppression, and I'm just firing at him just as much as I can, just putting down wounds. Scouts with sniper rifles are pushing up. The AT units are pushing up, trying to take that tank down. I hate the fact his tank is still alive and mine isn't. His tank made all kinds of saves, and my tank just couldn't hack it. Oh goodness. And stores were getting ready to close. We're like, fuck, let's do this. We start rushing towards the middle, forming this huge death pocket. Rex actually rallies and turns back around. We're just kind of this laser firing the hell of each other. Rex comes back. He can't really do much when he comes back. He actually recovers Rex to remove all of the suppression. Not a bad move. And yeah, so more or less we're trying to get close to each other and stop each other's bomb carts at this point, and we're just blasting away at each other. Store's about to close. We're just going to kind of finish up. Like I said, we got started a little too late, and more or less the battle ends in a tie. And I'm just kind of blasting away with everything. He blasted away. We started a little late, unfortunately. Had to get set up, but we hit to like turn 5, and we have to stop because the store's closing. But it was a really fun game. I really do like the 1600 point games over the 800 point games. I think they're much more fun and thematic. They may take a little bit longer, but man, are they much more fun to play. But 800 point games are like the bog standard. You can get a whole game in, you got plenty of units, that kind of stuff. I like the Occupier now that troops can ride inside of it and not get blown apart. They can shoot out, do melee. That was pretty cool. I'm playing a lot with that. And right now the best tank buddy squad is Stormtroopers with a droid and Del Meeko. That's like the best tank buddy squad or armor buddy squad in the Empire right now. I have an idea where I have speeder bikes who do drive-bys by them, and they get repaired and wounds put back on them, because repair can bring back whole models, which is pretty cool. But yeah, Ty, I'm not sure who would have won. Probably him, just due to my shoddy dice rolls. But really fun game. It was really good to see Tyler again, and I cannot wait to try out more of the other situations and missions. Those are really fun. Rollout was a hoot because you put your armor way the hell out front, and you are off to the races almost immediately. Really, really, really fun. But yeah, that's it. More or less gonna do a few more painting videos, gonna do a few item reviews, hopefully new year. I'm gonna try and make time for this channel more, all that kind of fun stuff. But until I see you next time on this side of the veil, this is Garbro Miniature Reviews, Garbeardia Miniature Reviews, whatever you want to call it, and I will see you next time.